Okay, we're here with Charlene Li down at the Under the Radar conference. And Charlene, you and your coworker, is it Josh, have the book out, Groundswell, on social networks. Why don't you tell us what are the maybe 3 or top 5 takeaways from that book in terms of how social networks are going to change the way that businesses interact with their customers?
Sure. I mean, we wrote the book because a lot of companies were asking us, how do we create a social strategy? How do we use blogs? How do we use social networks? And we wanted to put in one place all of the frameworks, the tools, the database, the best case studies, the metrics, so that companies can really create that strategy. And the way we think about it, you have to focus on the relationships, not the technologies. Because if you focus on technology first, you end up with all these point solutions that don't add up to anything. So think about how you want to create that relationship with your customers, how you want it to look, and we have a whole methodology around that. It's a 4-step process, and we call it POST. The P stands for people. You get to understand how people are using these technologies, where they're using it, how they're connecting with each other. Then objectives, what are you going to do with them? Then there's the strategy itself, how it's going to change over time, and then at the end is the T, the technology. So we find that POST methodology to be quite helpful in terms of creating a strategy, but also to help analyze when things don't go well, because not everything is perfect. Oftentimes people have started these strategies, they've gone off the rails, and using the POST methodology, we can also figure out what's going wrong so we can correct it.
Now, who are the people in an organization that need to get this? I mean, it has to be certain people high up on the ladder to be able to make the change, right? It can't just be an individual contributor who buys into this. It's really got to go up the ladder a little bit, right? And
it does.
Somebody gets some buy-in.
And I think you can start at the beginning with one person, one huge revolutionary who actually understands this and can turn things around. But to make it work, you have to have these frameworks and processes. Otherwise, the people at the top will not buy into it. They won't believe it if it's just, okay, we got to have a blog. And they ask why. Well, now you can point to why. There's people who are using it, our customers are there, and we also have an objective, a very clear business objective on how to do this. The reason why I think it's so important is that this stuff is hard to do, and it takes a lot of time. And the reason why it's hard is because it makes people think about their world in a very different way. And it's challenging across the board, from customer support to product development to marketing, how you think about this. And so if you're going to have that, you need an executive champion who's going to help you clear away those roadblocks.
And last question, we hear a lot about how the Facebook generation, as they move up in the ranks of corporate America, they're going to bring the apps that they've been using personally into the workplace, in terms of connecting with friends and connecting with customers and what have you. How long do you think that process will take? And also, are there certain industries where it might happen earlier, where you have maybe this Facebook work generation that really sort of changes the way the corporate America does business?
Yeah, I think of it as the Facebook generation, but I think of it more as a social generation, where their social connections are the way that they get things done. So I think it's happening very quickly, and more than anything else, it's because the older folks, the older generation, will see the younger generation actually being very effective at this, doing things in a different way that could initially be very threatening, but then they very quickly realize that, oh, this is actually a better way, faster way, cheaper way of getting things done. Anything from crowdsourcing new ideas to energizing your most passionate customers without having to spend anything on acquisition. I mean, these things are hardcore numbers that this generation is going to move up the corporate ladder with. And so the executives who are smart will not turn off access to Facebook and LinkedIn and to YouTube and all these other tools that are the foundation of what these young people need.
Okay, Charlene, Forrester Research Analyst and co-author of Groundswell. Appreciate the time.
Okay, thank you.